Hello YouTube, this is Ben Gessel. I'm going to make another video at least today. At least one more video, and in case you're wondering, yes, these are my relatives and family members, etc, etc. So if you hear any interruptions or their voices in this video or other videos here, it's because I'm on vacation with all of my brothers and sisters and their kids and all that stuff. So I do apologize, but that's the way these things work sometimes. So I have a whole bunch of things to get to here. So this is going to be a wide variety smorgasbord type of video. Again, I hope you enjoy the motorboat, jet ski, whatever. Nope, that's a motor, it's a boat. I hope you enjoy the scenery and as much as I do. I need more of this kind of stuff here. Just sitting out here relaxing, thinking about stuff. So, okay, here, let's get right to it here. So, video games should be more dreamlike, and fantasy movies as well. So if you're playing, again, if you're a fan of fantasy adventure video games and fantasy movies like I am, as well as sometimes a little bit of the supernatural stuff, they should be more dreamlike. It should be a lot more. What about this? What about that? What about this? We have a lot of puzzles, and we have a lot of things that programmers are starting to include that are help you think out, help you to play the game more outside of the box in terms of puzzles. But we can take that to the next level. We can do that with what you say to different people in the game that have more interest to you, and we can make them, of course, more unique as well. And, you know, just what can you do? What would you like to do in these different types of places and sceneries and things that you could do in dreams? Now, there's a lot of things that, you know, are very hard to do with programming, I understand. But that's where we need to, that's one of the directions we need to move in. We need, you know, not just like dreams, but we just need to be able to sometimes do more different things. Sometimes we want something to be funny. Sometimes you want things to be romantic, even in a game. You know, sure, I don't know. To a certain extent, and I suppose we also want things to be beautiful or exciting, or more exciting, more adventurous, more action-packed, more mysterious, more enchanting. All that stuff. And when we can only move north, south, east, or west, you know, it's a little bit hard to get there sometimes, you know, to get to that point where we feel like it's fantasy, you know. Anyway, leave me your thoughts and comments below about that particular subject. We need more aesthetic and imaginative space in this world. What I mean by that is, check out this lake. Isn't it awesome? You might think, oh, we can just go boating or fishing or swimming or water skiing. Sure, but we can also go scuba diving, and we can watch the waves, we can skip rocks, we can't walk in water, but there's, you know, there are a lot of things that you can do out away from the gridlock of inner cities and things. But we just need parks to be more inspiring for the imagination. We need not only parks, but theme parks to be that way, instead of just cheap thrills and overpriced junk food. And, you know, that's one of the things we need. If you were to put more aesthetic, when I say aesthetic, I mean beautiful and inspiring, and things that inspire the imagination, and varied. You know, if you were to put a park like that somehow near every inner city neighborhood, I can guarantee you it would be rough goings for a while, but after a bit, it would improve the community. It would definitely improve the community. One of the easiest ways of doing that, I think, this is what graffiti artists try to do sometimes, is, yeah, graffiti art. If it costs too much money to get a really awesome, you know, little mini amusement park in rougher neighborhoods. Okay, you got whip out the colors, man. Whip out the chalk, or not the chalk, but something maybe permanent. But do away with the gang symbols and get some art up there. But there are a lot of things like that we just need more of. Seattle Center has some places like that. For instance, in Seattle, one of the buildings especially. But that's what we need more of. And one of the evils of this world is that I feel like there's a lot of money that isn't going toward that. And why is this evil? Well, because it's negatively affecting everyone that could benefit from more of that kind of good thing, whether it's talking about dance space or art or music or a fun place to go explore and tunnels and whatever, or little kids play areas or stuffed animals. I don't know. We need that. We obviously need more of that stuff, and it's hard to fund that stuff, and a lot of resources don't seem to be going that direction again. They just seem to be, where are they going? I don't know. But wherever they're going, they're not going to a lot of these kinds of things. We need more awareness of the consequences of our actions and thoughts and words. Now, I know this is getting toward a kind of religious subject, perhaps. I hope I don't run out of energy or juice here on my phone. I could try to get to these and better maybe make another video about some of these, but I can't get to them, all of them. But that very statement, we need more awareness of the consequences of our actions and thoughts and words. It's best to just not do some things, period. But, when someone messes up, when they say they messed up, and they can give a general sometimes idea of what they did, they don't have to be going to specifics, but when you hear these mess up stories, we should hear these things and say, wow, I should now be aware that if I smoke heroin, this is what's going to happen. That kind of thing. We need more awareness of the consequences of our own actions and thoughts and words, for good or for evil, but especially, for evil, because we don't want to experience the consequences of evil. We don't. It isn't happy. It isn't happiness. It's the opposite. It's misery. Okay, I'm just going to leave it at that. More thoughts about both of you. If you guys have any questions about that, you can ask away. We need to understand each other a lot better. Except for ... So which people do you think you don't need to understand better? And why? It's an important question if you think about it. All of us need to understand each other better. Much better. Much better. Why is that? But also, there's the except for ... Is it everyone that we need to understand much, much, much better? Or is there a limit to that? And leave me your thoughts and comments below in that area. I'm not going to say what I think until I hear back from you guys on that one. So I don't take a lot of YouTube content advice very seriously, vast majority of the time. A little bit, sure. Or I listen to ideas, of course. All kinds of stuff like that. But there's a lot of these do's and don'ts I don't take very seriously. And as far as do's and don'ts going to other countries, I can probably take that a little bit more seriously, but still with a grain of salt sometimes. So these do's and don'ts things just seem to kind of limit one's enjoyment, I think, of things like YouTube. But I do take advice about privacy very seriously. I know what to do, what not to do on YouTube. Yes and no. There's things that I still kind of brush up on a little bit more. But there are some definitely some things regarding privacy that I don't. I try to make sure that I keep in mind with YouTube videos. At least. But, if you guys want to be better friends, I'm sure we can be better friends, etc., etc. All that good stuff. So, I can always meet someone on YouTube. Romantically, that sort of thing. So, Critics are a dime a dozen unless they have something truly worthwhile to say about something. So it's a good idea sometimes to just not listen to the critics, unless it's maybe the nostalgia critic, because in his case, he is just very awesome and entertaining. He doesn't really judge. He's just a very funny guy. Yes, Walt Walker. I can't remember his first name, but he's an awesome guy. So, we love the arts partially because the arts are not preachy. What do I mean by that? Well, I mean that they aren't. We can listen to music and look at paintings and read books and all kinds of stuff. And, sometimes they can be a little bit preachy, but most of the time they're not. And so, don't we love stories that aren't preachy? Or maybe later on we go, oh, there's something to this. But no, we enjoyed the story before we realized, oh, there's a moral somewhere in here. But yeah, that's why we like the arts so much, is because we don't like to be always preached to. It's not always the best feeling, even though it's sometimes kind of important in some respects. But so here's something to think about. If I can't talk about blank, I go to blank, then blank, etc. So what I'm talking about here is how I socialize. Some of us understand how to be very social better than other people. Some of us understand other people better in that respect. So it's just socializing in general. I'm a little different than many people. If I perceive that someone doesn't want to talk about something, or if I don't, I realize after asking them a question they don't seem as interested, I'll ask them about something else. Pretty quick I'll get to something they'd like to talk about. And it's okay, because maybe it's a bit of a relief. If you really respect someone, or you like someone, or you want someone to feel comfortable around you, why would you want to talk about something that they don't have very much interest in, or it's upsetting to them? Okay, that's another train of thought, but if you really want someone to be, to enjoy your company, you would probably try to look for something that they enjoy as well. Now, I mention this because some of this train of thought has to do with Asperger's syndrome, which I have mildly. And the thing is that it's hard. It's very, very, very hard. The more acute you have Asperger's and autism and whatever, these kinds of things, it's very hard to know what someone else is interested in. But that's how I do things a lot of times. Sometimes it's just from my perception of a person's personality. Sometimes it's hard when you want to talk about something really bad with someone. But that's how I do it. If I can't talk about blank, I go to blank, then blank, then blank. How to socialize, right? Or you just go to someone else that you rather prefer talking to, but you don't think less of that other person. You just say, oh, he just doesn't have as much interest in this topic. And believe me, I've had someone talk to me for hours about something scientific, and it's very hard, but I try to listen and nod and smile. And I know exactly what's going on with that other person, because I can be very much that same way. I can be the person that's talking to someone for hours, and the other person's trying to be pleasant. There you go. It's better to find peace and common ground with others than condemn others that have different values and beliefs than you to hell. I'm going to say that one more time. It is better to find peace and common ground with others than condemn others that have different values and beliefs than you to hell. Okay, who have I ever condemned to hell? Oh, geesh. It's hard to remember, but I don't think I've actually ever done that. I mean, I don't know. It's just something to think about, folks. So here's another thing, topic I'm thinking about: why ministers should not be paid. I don't believe they should be paid. It says so in the Bible. It's a phrase that you hear all the time from these fundamentalists, but I'm going to go ahead and use it in this case. Ministers should not be paid because Jesus said so himself. Of course, they are paid, because how can you have someone be a minister unless they are paid? It's kind of a full-time gig, isn't it? I have nothing personally against ministers that are paid, but the reason why ministers should not be paid has everything to do with the nature of what they're trying to do. if you think about it enough, you'll understand what I'm saying. Religion is not competitive. There should, and really, in all honesty, even though there's that kind of idea that we should have as many religions as we have people, what a religion is something that involves belief in something that you can't know for sure, but that helps your character and is true. It's just true, but it's true not in a way that you can know 100%, spiritually true, basically. But you see, when you get different religions and different ministers and all these things, even if they are just another Bible church, it's competitive, essentially. And when it's competitive, you can have that much more reason on top of the infinite number of other reasons why religion is so confusing. You can have one more reason why religion is confusing and contentious and not cool, and why so many people turn away from religion. It's this competitive nature of money and capitalism. It doesn't belong. Now, again, I understand why it is the case, but more than almost anything else in the world, it should not be the case, because Jesus himself said ministers should not be paid. So think about that one for a while. If you're going to be Christian, you got to do what Jesus, you just can't get around that. Now you can point the finger right back at me and say, LDS apostles are paid, that sort of thing. But then I point the finger back and say, they're not paid, they're just supported. They have their needs taken care of, but they aren't saving money in that way.
Hi, Graydon.
That's my cousin. Sorry, it's my brother's daughter. Sorry. Okay. So, yeah, they're not really paid, they're just supported. But I can understand why some people might think they're paid. All right. But I thought I'd mention that at least. So, seeking out new things in people, why is that so scary? Why does that bring a lot of fear and anxiety? Well, I'll just start this topic out with myself. I feel a great deal of fear and anxiety when I'm trying new things. The bigger the thing is, the more I feel fear and anxiety.
Why are you going on that boat?
So, might have to move to a different spot here. Sorry, folks. I hope you'll enjoy the lake.
Why are you going on that boat?
Again, sorry, folks. I'm going to just go to a different, quieter place here. This is the cabin. So, anyway, leave me your thoughts and comments below about that particular subject. Why trying new things is so scary. My dad is practical. I am not. I'm going to skim through the rest of these pretty quick. I thought I'd mention that. And that can be a very interesting scenario. But that's the story of my life. Kind of. What social media does for you? What is it doing for you? To you? Also something else to contemplate. Don't be someone else's clone. Be yourself. But love your family as they seek to be better people. And yes, you were meant to have a lot in common with your parents and family. That is the way God intended things. I'm just going to leave it at that. But especially, don't be someone else's clone. That's ridiculous. When it gets hot, I start shutting down. So I don't want to be expected to perform at a very high level when it gets to be 110 degrees. I think that should be also said no matter what. Okay, leave me your thoughts and comments below also regarding this question. Can you imagine a character or entity that's more evil than Satan? Thoughts and comments below. It also takes a great deal of energy and calories and nutrients to just live. So if you're not exercising very much, you could still be expending a lot of calories and nutrients. Last thing here, don't belittle someone for their faults. Only rebuke pride and all forms of evil stemming from disobedience to God. So yes, I think it's very good to overlook someone's faults, but when someone is prideful about living in a way that they know is contrary to the will of God, that's when you should choose the time and the place. Say that's not the way to be, and that is tough, but that's the way to do things. You should never show a desire to destroy another person. You should never show, also, if you rebuke someone, you need to show forth an increase of love immediately afterward. That's the way it works. So don't belittle someone simply for their faults or shortcomings. But you do rebuke sin, especially very serious sin, and you should know the way to do that. I gotta wrap this up. My family's talking and stuff. Leave me thoughts and comments below. Talk to you guys later. Thanks.